Good afternoon and good morning. This is James Loy of Loyalty 360, and I want to thank you for attending today's webinar, Let's Get Personal, taking your one-to-one marketing from simple to sophisticated. Presented by Sarah Swenson, Manager of Analytics, and Aaron Magnuson, Senior Consultant for Emnos. During today's webinar, the experts at Emnos will share key steps for implementing a personalized marketing program your customers will love. And we want to remind you that this, as well as other webinars, are recorded and will be available on loyalty360.org after the webinar. If you have any questions during the session, please use your question function on the side of your toolbar, and we'll forward them to the presenters for a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And with that, I will turn it over to Sarah and Aaron.
Thanks, Mike. A big thanks to you and the other folks at Loyalty 360 for hosting this webinar and allowing us to speak with everyone today. Okay, so since the theme here is personalized, we thought we'd start out by getting personal ourselves and allow you to put a face with a name and a voice. This is Sarah speaking, and Aaron and I will be taking you through some tips on how to set up a best-in-class personalized marketing program. Between the two of us, we have almost 25 years of experience in analytics and consulting, and throughout our careers have driven analytic, strategic, and operational processes that are to support targeted, data-driven loyalty communications for leading U.S. retailers. Now, before we dive right into personalized marketing, we first want to share a little bit about Emnos. Founded in 2003, we are part of a pretty powerful network. Our parent company is Loyalty Partner, which is a subsidiary of American Express. And with 120 employees across Chicago, Munich, London, Paris, and Madrid, we empower retailers across the globe to use customer data to deliver tangible business growth through our expertise in leveraging shopper transactions and also through our analytics platform. We've also worked with multiple retailers around the world in the past few years to deliver over 150 personalized marketing campaigns containing over 700 million targeted offers. These campaigns were executed via multiple channels, including print, email, digital, and coupon at till. And we've seen some pretty good redemption rates, as high as 45% for food offers and 15% for non-food offers. Across these campaigns, we've seen customer participation rates, meaning they've redeemed at least one offer in the campaign, as high as 35%, and have shown long-term incremental sales for the program upwards of 4.5%. Okay, so why did we choose to talk with you today about personalized marketing? Well, for one, it's a hot topic. An online search for personalized marketing revealed over 75 million search results. I don't know about you, but I think that's quite a bit to sift through. We also know that more and more retailers and marketers are moving towards personalization. Compared to 2013, consumers will receive 6 times more personalized offers by 2017. And more consumers are actually expecting personalization. 60% of consumers in a recent survey said that personalized coupons make their shopping easier. They want to receive discounts for the products they already buy or those that they would be interested in. And nearly half of consumers want to use coupons on their mobile devices. 2/3 of consumers want relevant coupons actually loaded to their loyalty card. Suppliers see personalized marketing as an avenue to drive customer acquisition and reach desired customers, as well as a means to yield a significant lift in sales over that of non-personalized coupons. So all of this means in order to keep your customers interested and engaged, in order to drive more loyalty and retain those customers, you will also need to make sure that the content and offers you put in front of them are personalized and relevant. Luckily, we're here to help. So you don't have to make your way through those 75 million search results. Erin and I will help you understand how to implement a successful personalized marketing program, one that goes beyond basic dynamic content and is a notch up on the sophistication scale. Here at emnos, we believe that there are 5 key principles for implementing a successful personalized marketing program. The first is to prioritize loyalty. And we do this by using personalized marketing to drive loyalty and to reward valuable, loyal customers. Next, we believe it is important to engage suppliers. So as I already mentioned, personalized marketing is an avenue for suppliers to reach their desired customers and drive customer acquisition through precise targeting. We also feel that there is actually an opportunity for the program to be a shared investment between retailers and suppliers. And you can do this by using customer data to develop insights and then activate on those insights for mutually beneficial results. The third principle is to be relevant. And relevancy really is the key to personalization. With customer data at our fingertips, we can understand exactly what our customers want, and we can target at the most granular level possible. The next principle is to select the right channel. Now, this may seem pretty simple and really isn't new news, but it's still really important. And we want to make sure we're contacting our customers where they're most engaged, or we might miss out on them. And we should make the personalized content or offer as convenient for them to use as possible and deliver it in a timely manner to stay relevant. And finally, the fifth principle is to make it measurable. In order to learn, we need to be able to measure, which means we need to be willing to hold out some customers as part of a control group. So both at an offer and campaign level, as well as part of a long-term control. Now, I know that this might seem a little scary, but we're here to tell you it's not, and we're also here to explain further why it's important and why test and learn is important for continuous program improvement. I'll now turn this over to Erin to take us through the first key principle of prioritizing loyalty.
All right, so prioritizing loyalty. As Sarah just touched on, this is our first key principle. So here at emnos, we feel that a best-in-class personalized marketing program really focuses on one thing, and that is all about rewarding best customers as a way to drive greater customer loyalty. So when we think about prioritizing loyalty, we first and foremost want to think about rewarding and thanking our best, most valuable, and loyal customers. So you may be familiar with the Pareto principle, and to tie this into our retail experience, we've seen that only 20 to 30% of customers drive the majority of sales. And this is exactly why we choose to focus our personalized marketing efforts specifically on the retention and growth of these high-value customers. So right here in the center of our chart, these customers right at the peak of the curve. So So with that, we understand that this loyalty-first approach definitely can contrast with other customer strategies that are out there, whether it's the acquisition of new customers or the expansion of customer spend into new products or categories or lost customer re-engagement. I mean, we definitely think there is a time and place for those strategies, but when it comes to personalized marketing, we really believe that it's first and foremost important to build that foundation of customer loyalty. And one thing that we want to clarify when we talk about prioritizing loyalty, this does not mean that you need to have a formal loyalty program. It just means that you need to have the capabilities in place to track customer shopping and behavior over time so that you're really able to identify who those high-value customers are. And it also means that you have the ability to engage with these best customers so that you can grow their loyalty over the long term because, as we mentioned, they'll have the biggest impact on your business. So now that we've talked about the importance of prioritizing loyalty, let me hand it back over to Sarah to take us through our next step.
Okay. So earlier I mentioned an emnos platform that allows retailers to make more effective use of customer data. Well, a lot of the retailers we work with use our insight sharing platform as a vehicle to not only build loyalty through customer insights, but to share insights with their suppliers. So customer data and the platform together create a common goal or a common language between a retailer and its suppliers. They both have access to the insight sharing platform, which allows both parties to collaborate and use the data within the platform. This then allows them to develop insights that can be activated on through things like assortment or promotions or pricing or personalized marketing, which is what, of course, we are talking about today. Ultimately, the developed insights and the activation results in a win-win situation for all parties involved. These parties being the retailer, the suppliers, and the customers. We like to refer to this here at emnos as a mutually beneficial ecosystem. Retailers get increased sales through increased customer loyalty and retention. Suppliers have access to granular level data and the ability to activate on developed insights. And then they can also use the data and the platform to measure the impact. And finally, the retailer's customers benefit through a better and more relevant customer experience. Now, at the center of a personalized marketing program is the customer data, all of which we were just talking about. And what this allows us is to understand a tremendous amount about our customers, such as what they buy, when, where, how much, how often, all of that good stuff. So using data like this means we can create a more relevant customer experience by rewarding them for their loyalty through valuable and personalized offers, which now leads us into why it is so important to be relevant.
So relevance is our third key principle for personalized marketing success. So let's back it up a little bit and spend a little bit of time talking about what we really mean when we say personalized marketing, and then we'll get into where relevance fits in with this story. So some retailers or companies may define personalization as communications that feature a customer's name or communications that really rely on demographics for their content. And maybe other businesses may consider segment-level communications to be truly personalized. Here at emnos, when we talk about personalized marketing, we feel that it stems from the ability to use the most granular level of customer purchase data that's available. So really what Sarah was just talking about. We look at what each customer is buying, when they're buying them, how often they're buying these products, and what other products are part of that same basket. So taking a look at the left side of the slide, we have segment level targeting. Segment level targeting in itself certainly is not a bad thing. It's really useful in that it allows you to speak to certain pockets of your customer base so that you can either drive deeper engagement or increase spend in, say, specific merchandise categories or divisions. But segment level targeting takes a one-size-fits-all approach. And by this we mean that all customers within that segment will receive the same set of fixed offers or content. So if you think about it, true relevance at the individual customer level is really limited when it comes to segment level targeting. So let's move over to the right side of the slide into the one-to-one personalized targeting area. This allows us to take relevance a step further. Using that granular customer level data, we can drive offers and content that are completely variable, and that provides a unique and personalized experience for every single customer, as opposed to that fixed set of offers that we just talked about. This approach allows retailers and businesses to craft really relevant experience, and at the same time, they can reward their best customers with offers on products that they've bought in the past, making those customers feel really special. So in our experience in working with retailers across more personalized marketing campaigns, we've seen that 99% of customers will receive a unique set of offers or content. So I think that speaks to just how dynamic we can really get. So let's look at an example. Let's look at customers in an example retailer segment for beauty and personal care lovers. So if you look on the left, you'll notice that with segment level targeting, all of the customers within beauty and personal care will receive that same set of fixed offers. And of course, it's true that these offers definitely fit within the general scope of beauty and personal care, but not all of these offers will be directly relevant to every single customer that is within that segment. So moving to the right, into personalization, you'll see that we're talking to the same set of customers that are in that beauty and personal care segment, but each of these customers is receiving a variable set of offers that are truly relevant to each one of them. And I think it's really important to tie this back into loyalty. So as we touched on before, if we want to build loyalty, we must have our high-value customers engaged. And then if you think about it from a campaign perspective, how do we measure engagement? So we measure engagement through customer participation. So looking at our experience with our retail clients, on average, we see that personalized campaigns perform anywhere in terms of participation from 4 to 7 times that of segment level campaigns. And then we also use personalized campaigns to drive as much incremental sales as we possibly can. So with that, hopefully we're able to give you a little bit of a better picture of what personalization means here at emnos. And we want to use the remainder of this webinar to provide you with some deeper insights and learnings from our own experiences with various retailers. All right, so let's take it a step further so we can better understand how to implement a personalized marketing program or what a structure might be like. If we want to deliver relevance for every single best customer, it's really important that we have a wide variety of offers or content available at our disposal. So how do we get that? And this is where suppliers come back into play. If retailers can effectively partner with their suppliers in setting up personalized marketing programs, it will allow for a broad range of offers or content that should cover the shopping habits for all of your high-value customers at a SKU or product level. That's the goal. So as part of this exercise, we'll work with both retailers and suppliers to try to help identify what are the best offers or content that will support the strategies of personalization that they're interested in. So let's take an example. Let's look at this customer here. Looking backwards at her shopping behavior in the past, say, 3 to 6 months, or whatever time frame makes the most sense for your business, we can reward her with offers or on the SKUs and products that she's bought in the past. And keep in mind that this reward benefit, it extends beyond just this customer. Reward initiatives and efforts definitely support the underlying priority to build and retain those high-value customers for retailers in the longer term. So we've seen that there's a benefit for rewards to customers, there's a benefit for reward offers at the retailer level. How do we extend the benefits of personalized marketing over to suppliers? So we can provide customers not just with reward offers, but with what we can call recruitment offers that features, instead of products that they've bought before, it features products that they have a high propensity to purchase based on what we've seen them buy in the past. Recruitment offers in this way give suppliers a means for expanding their share of new customers or potentially extending their existing customers into their adjacent brands or categories or product lines. And then for the retailer, recruitment offers allow them to build baskets and to get a larger share of that customer spend at their retailer. So as you can tell, there are a couple strategies that personalization can support. And you may be wondering what works, what doesn't work. Well, we can tell you in our experience, we've seen that the reward approach really drives the optimal offer redemption and sales uplift that you might be looking for. On average, we see that reward offers perform about 2 times better than recruitment offers in terms of that offer level redemption. And then from the perspective of sales uplift per customer, reward offers on average perform about 4 times better than recruitment offers. So let's shift gears a bit. We've spent some time talking about how relevance is key from an offer level or a content level, but the other side of relevance is channel and being able to get that relevant offer into the hands or in front of the best customer that you're after. It's critical to understand channel relevance, and this means the ability to talk to customers through the right channel and at the right time. And as Sarah touched on before, we understand that this isn't new, but in this age of multi-channel and omni-channel marketing, we know that retailers have so many options for reaching best customers, so it's truly important to understand the benefits and the drawbacks for each channel. So for example, given the ever-growing and evolving digital marketplace, we often hear that print is dying. But in our experience with retail clients, we have seen that a large portion of high-value customers are only contactable through that print channel. So as a result, in considering the strong impact of these high-value customers in the long term on your business, as well as just the general effectiveness of the print channel, we still encourage retailers to continue to talk to their best customers through print that they can't reach either via email or via mobile or digital channels. So on the other side, the email and digital channels allow potentially for a higher volume of relevant offers or at an increased or more real-time frequency, just because we know that these channels have a reduced operational complexity and they're typically cheaper in terms of execution. So if the goal is to grow your digital customer base from a contactability and eligibility standpoint, there are a number of tactics that you could use to support this, whether it's incentivizing customers to provide an email address or rewarding customers with richer discounts for online activity or for digital offer redemption instead of using a print offer. But in all of this, don't forget that it's really critical to think just beyond channel eligibility and contactability. You really want to understand your customers' channel preferences, especially for those multi-channel customers. We absolutely know it can be tempting to shift customers away from print so that you can gain some cost efficiencies, but we know from our experience that this will definitely have an impact on the campaign's participation. And then keep in mind that just because customers are eligible or contactable through multiple channels, it doesn't guarantee that these customers will continue participating through all of these channels. So I think we can dig a little deeper and share an example of this. And working with a retailer in setting up a contact strategy for a recent campaign, we had a group of dual eligible customers that we had seen responded to a prior campaign through the print channel. And just to clarify, by dual eligible, what we mean is that these customers were contactable through both the print channel and the email channel. So when it came time to execute the second campaign, what we wanted to do was assign these dual eligible past print responders to a channel, but we didn't have the data that we wanted to really do this in an intelligent manner. Ideally, we wanted to understand the email or digital behaviors for these dual eligible customers before we either decided to move them into print or email for the second campaign. And really, it was our hypothesis that customers that demonstrated higher levels of past email or digital engagement would be the best candidates for receiving email instead of print in that second campaign. So we were lacking the information to do this, but we still wanted to take the opportunity to test our hypothesis and really understand what would happen if we just completely at random assigned this group of customers to either print or email. So we did that, and then when we looked at results, the dual eligible customers who received email and responded through email, so it's the group on the left side of this chart in purple, they participated at a rate that was on average 4 times lower than their counterparts who received print in the second campaign, being on those are the customers on the right side of the screen with the pink bar. So later on, we finally got our hands on this past digital or email activity data that we were looking for. So we decided we wanted to do a post hoc assessment of that email responding group. We wanted to break them down further and really understand, could we separate them based on the data that we finally got? Could we separate them into customers with higher email engagement versus those with lower email engagement in the past? So once we did that, and that's what you see here on this chart, we found that customers who had prior higher levels of email activity participated in that second campaign through email at a much higher rate. It was closer to their counterparts who received print. And this really validated our hypothesis. And so at the end of the day, it was a great reminder for us that channel preference, beyond just channel contactability or eligibility, plays a huge role in understanding how to deliver that relevant offer to your best customers. So it's just something to keep in mind. We always recommend, if you have the data, use it. So that said, let's think about actually talking to your customers through more than one channel, so multi-channel. We've seen in the past the power of combined channels. At the campaign level, communicating to the same customers through all available channels will likely generate a cumulative effect on their participation. So for example, in one retailer's recent campaign, we saw that the customers who we contacted through more than one channel, so those on the right side of this chart here with the orange box, they participated on average nearly 2 times that of customers whom we contacted through only one channel, so those on the left side of the chart. Of course, we understand that multi-channel communication can be very complex from an operational standpoint at big retailers, and it can be very expensive. So we recommend testing and learning your way through a couple different multi-channel approaches. In doing so, it's really key to remember that while print is less efficient from a cost perspective, email and SMS are less effective in generating participation, anywhere from 40 to 50% less effective. So key things to keep in mind when you're setting up your contact strategy. On the other hand, digitally focused channels can enable retailers to react to customer needs in a more real-time manner, and they can better support things like trigger-based contact strategies. And it's also important to be intelligent about multi-channel communication. We recommend continually monitoring channel behavior of your customers to better understand and refresh their preferences, as well as identify any attrition or list fatigue that you might see as a result of over-communicating. You certainly do not want to just blast your customers through all channels if that's not the right approach. And in saying all of this, keep in mind that each retailer is extremely different. They have a different set of customers, different sets of products. So it's really important to understand the optimal channel setup that aligns with your business while still meeting the needs of your customers and still fitting within your marketing budget. That's key as well. All right, so we have one final example of channel strategy for you, and this involves using coupon at till as a reinforcement for a more traditional channel. Here in this case, it's email. So in this example, a customer first receives an email that includes personalized offers. So if this customer here does not open their email after 4 days, the next time she visits the store and makes a transaction, she'll receive a coupon at till print that includes that same set of personalized offers that were part of that email that she didn't open. And then just to call out, for this campaign and with this retailer, 4 days was a reasonable length of time, and we just based that on the average customer trip frequency. But keep in mind that can be completely customizable based on the retailer and based on the type of customers that you're targeting. So in this example, we ultimately saw the customers who received the coupon at till reinforcement generated 45% more in incremental sales than customers who only received the email. So as mentioned, it's important to use multi-channel strategies wisely. And here in this case, with coupon at till being a relatively low-cost channel, the increased participation and the incremental sales were enough to merit moving forward with this coupon at till reinforcement tactic for all eligible customers in all future campaigns. Okay, so just to do a quick recap, we've gone through 4 key principles so far: prioritizing loyalty, engaging suppliers, being relevant, and selecting the right channel. So to lead us into our 5th key principle, I'm going to hand it back over to Sarah.
Thanks, Erin. Okay, so how do we take all of this great information we've already shared today and make sure that it's doing what we want it to do and that it's working? Well, as we said, we want to make sure that we can measure the benefits of a personalized marketing program. So we've shared a few test and learn results with you already, but what I would like to do now is spend some time talking about why it is important to make it measurable. Ideally, we want to be able to measure at 3 different levels. The first level I'll talk about is at the offer level. So we want to make sure that we continually improve the program at this level. And we might want to think about testing maybe different offer constructs in this way. We also want to make sure that we understand the return from each campaign. So measuring at a campaign level will allow us to do this. And then finally, it's really important to understand the long-term return from the program. Now, in order to have the possibility to measure incremental sales or frequency, the qualified customer universe needs to be randomly split into a test and a control group. Customers in the control group do not receive the campaign, obviously, and this is the only difference between the control and the test group. All other criteria and characteristics of these groups of customers are absolutely the same. Now, there are some metrics that can be calculated without a control group. We've talked a little bit about customer participation rates and offer redemption rates. However, in order to evaluate any change in customer behavior, both short-term and long-term, we need a control group to calculate, for example, like I mentioned, incremental spend and frequency, or maybe the addition of customers for those recruitment offers that we talked about, and also potentially repeat purchase. Now, as I mentioned, Test and Learn provides an opportunity to gain further insights at 3 different levels. I'm going to spend a little bit of time here talking about those 3 different levels a little bit more. So for example, we might want to know how rich an offer must be to drive conversion, or maybe an incremental trip, or recruitment into a brand. We can do this by testing the offer depth or value. Having a test and control group at the offer level allows us to understand the incremental sales driven by the offer, and thus the ROI associated with the offer. We can also measure repeat purchase after the campaign period. The campaign perspective provides us both a short-term and a longer-term view of things like the incremental spend and frequency I mentioned, both during and after the campaign period. And so just so you know, we typically see incremental sales as a percentage of the test group sales from the campaigns that we've worked with, anywhere from about 1.5% to 2.5%. We can also test differentiated customer experiences at the campaign level. So for example, at the bottom of the screen here in the middle, we may want to test what would happen if we gave a group of customers an offer that was a store-wide or a site-wide level, and we held out a group of customers from receiving such an offer. Setting up test cells like this at the campaign level allows us to understand the impact of these differentiated experiences on the campaign itself. And by the way, we have performed tests like this with various retailers we've worked with and have seen similar results across them. Customers receiving this total store-wide or site-wide offer are almost 2 times more likely to participate, and they drive more incremental sales than customers who did not receive the total store offer. Inclusion of a store-wide offer or total store offer also has what we call a halo effect on product redemption. Customers receiving the store-wide offer were up to 25% more likely to redeem the product offer. By creating a long-term control group, the last and final level I'll talk to you about, this means holding out customers from inclusion in the program at all. We're able to measure the financial benefit of the program. We've seen across multiple retailers where we've measured long-term impact that more customers in the test group either stay the same or migrate up in value, while more customers in the control group migrate down in value or are even lost. So this brings us back to our focus on loyalty. We can see that we are retaining more of our best customers and losing fewer of them. This also translates into long-term spend with the retailer, where we've seen upwards of 4.5% greater sales for the people who participate in the program versus those who do not and are in the long-term control group.
So I think it's clear that in our experience, we've really seen the long-term benefits that a personalized marketing program has to offer for retailers. And I hope that we've been able to give you some sort of learnings or insights that you can take with you back to your personalized marketing programs to continue to build and grow them on your own. So thanks so much for sticking with us through this presentation. And I think at this point, we are going to hand it back over to Mike for a Q&A session.
All right, well, thank you, Sarah and Aaron, for that great presentation. And we're going to take a few questions from the audience. We have one at the moment. Since you focus this webinar on consumer goods and those type of retailers, like grocery, for example, how would you see this working for a non-CPG retailer?
Okay, that's actually a good question, because we're definitely very aware that there are different types of retailers, and even outside of the maybe retail industry, so things like restaurant or hospitality. So really, this can still follow the same concepts that we have presented today, so still following those 5 key principles. For somebody like, let's say, maybe an apparel retailer, we might approach it at maybe a little bit different level, if you will. So it would still be very, very personalized, but it might be within a low-level category, focusing on a brand for personalization. So it might be a brand within women's activewear or men's activewear, and then you can break it down even further into, you know, the brand running shoes or jogging shorts, or, you know, those kinds of things. So I think that there's definitely different ways of approaching that. Maybe something, like for maybe a restaurant. I think that there's different ways that this could be approached, where it might be that you can, again, use past customer behavior to determine what they typically order when they come in on their visits, and potentially offer up maybe a reward type offer. If they're always ordering appetizers, you may give them, you know, reduced appetizer cost, or even maybe a free appetizer. Or if you want to perhaps stretch their spend a little bit and see if you can get them to order outside of their normal type of meal, we can implement this recruitment that we've talked about, by maybe saying, try this appetizer, or, you know, and getting a percentage off of the appetizer, or maybe, you know, drinks included, or things along those lines. So I think that there's definitely lots of possibilities across different types of retailers and industries.
Okay, and one more question here. By giving customers offers on products that they've purchased before and will likely continue to buy, aren't you just subsidizing their future purchase?
Yep, I think that's a good question, and it's one that we hear a lot when we kind of pitch the idea of reward offers. So in our experience, what we've found is that those reward offers, which are truly very, very relevant, reward offers and high relevance actually drive higher engagement and higher sales uplift and unit uplift versus those recruitment offers on things that customers haven't bought in the past but might buy. So from a campaign level, we actually see stronger incremental sales from those relevant offers. And then thinking about it from more of a longer term perspective for the retailer, those reward offers help to maintain, retain, and grow and build your most high value customer base. So you see less of them falling out, like Sarah was saying, and more of them migrating up. And we know that those customers have the biggest impact on your business. So from our perspective, it makes sense to continue rewarding those customers to see those long-term benefits for the retailer.
Okay, great. Again, thank you so much, Aaron and Sarah, for a great webinar and that informative Q&A session. And today's webinar will be archived on loyalty360.org for all of our members to access, and everyone in attendance today will receive a follow-up email with a recording of the webinar, and that will be available for a limited time. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to Loyalty 360 and we will ensure that they are directed to the appropriate party. So thanks again to our presenters, and we wish everyone a great rest of their day.